Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I'm going to be talking about our material presentation. It's actually about clause versus sentence plus finite and infinite clause and how they affect you in your English, especially in written and spoken English. But before we begin, let me introduce you to members in this group briefly. First is Faisal Aris Setiawan. Next is me, Andi Atma Palatu, Nurul Hidayah. After that is Intan Kumalasari, and the last is Husnul Fahimah Hassan. We are the students of English Education Department in EIN Kendari. Okay, let's talk to the first important thing in this material presentation. It is a clause. So, what is a clause? Do you know about the clause? Clause is a group of words that interconnected, which is having a subject and a predicate as a complete information. Then let's move on to the types of clause. There are two types of clauses. The first one is independent clause and the second one is dependent clause. Independent clauses, or also known as main clauses, or in Indonesian are called main sentences or main clauses. They are also called as a set of interconnected words that have a subject and predicate and can stand alone as complete sentence, so that the dependent clause can be similar to simple sentence. Next, dependent clause. Dependent clause are also called a subordinate clause, and in Indonesia, it is called a member of group. It has a subject and predicate, but cannot stand alone as a complete sentence because it doesn't express a complete thought. Dependent clauses need independent clauses in order to provide the complete information. Dependent clause is also called subordinate clause because it uses subordinate conjunctions such as the word of whether, if, when, until, after, took, because, since, while, and before. But the adjective clause uses relative pronouns such as that, which, who, whom, and whose. An example of independent clause is Rudy is my son. In this sentence has a complete information. There are subject Rudy, verb or to be is, and the object or complement is my son. An example of dependent clause is if you go with us. In this sentence, clause has uncompleted information. We can see in the word of if. Although the clause have a subject is you and the verb go and the object or complement is with us, but the subordinate conjunctions in word of if, it indicates that the clause sentence needs some of information in the previous or after that group of words. So, for the next important things would be delivered to my friends, Nurul Hidayah. Time is yours.
So, what is sentence? Sentence is a series of words that have perfect meaning. Sentence is a grammatical construction containing a complete meaning. Sentence is a form from one or more clauses, where there are at least one independent clause consisting of subject and predicate. Sentence can include a collection of meaningful words to express a statement, question, exclamation point, request, comment, or suggestion. The types of sentences. In general English grammar, there are 4 types of sentences. That is, simple sentence. Simple sentence consists of one independent clause with no dependent clauses. Next, compound sentence. Compound sentence consists of many independent clauses and no dependent clauses. The exiting clauses are combined together using conjunction, punctuation, or both. And then, complex sentence. Complex sentence consists of one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. And the last of compound complex sentence. Compound complex sentence consists of many independent clauses and at least one of them has one dependent clause. Based on the function, sentences can be divided into three parts as follows. The first, an interrogative sentence or question is generally used to ask for information. For example, do I have to go to work? And the second is, an exclamatory sentence is a sentence with an exclamation point that generally takes the form of a statement expressing a more emphatic emotion. For example, I have to go to work. And the last is, an imperative sentence or command tells someone to do something with a stronger emphasis. For example, go to work.
Okay guys, so here I will continue the explanation about sentence patterns. An independent clause composed of subject and predicate. There are many possible combinations of subject and predicate or sentence patterns produced. Here are some of them. The first one about sentence pattern is subject plus verb transitive plus direct object. For example, I just sent an email. And the next one, the sentence patterns is subject plus verb transitive plus indirect object plus direct object. For example, I just sent you an email. And the next sentence patterns, subject plus verb intransitive plus or minus adverb. For example, he speaks slowly. And the last one is subject plus linking verb plus noun or adjective. For example, he is a sign. Okay. The next material is sentence elements. The first one of the sentence element is the subject. Subject is a part of a sentence that contains the person or things performing the action or verb in a sentence. There are three kinds of the subjects. The first one is complete subject. Complete subject include all of the words that tell who or what the sentence is about. And the next is simple subject. Simple subject include the single word or noun or pronoun that tell who or what the sentence is about. And the last one is compound subject. Compound subject includes two or more simple subject or noun or pronoun that tell who or what the sentence is about. And the next is predicate. Predicate is completer of the sentence. And the next is object. Object is a noun or pronoun governed by a verb or a preposition. There are three kinds of object. The first one is direct object. Direct object is a noun or pronoun answering whom or what after an action verb. And the next is indirect object. Indirect object is a noun or pronoun answering from whom or what after an action verb. And the next is prepositional object. Prepositional object is a noun or pronoun answering whom or what after a preposition in a prepositional phrase. And the next is complements. Complement is any word or phrase that completes the sense of a subject, an object, or a verb. There are four kinds of the complements. The first one is subject complements, and the next object complements, and the next adjective complements, and the next verb complements, and the last is adverbials. Next material is about run-on sentences. It is a sentence consisting of two or more independent clauses but not connected properly. Run-on sentences should be corrected or avoided so that the reader can better understand the author's idea. And the next is sentence fragment. It is a complete sentence but acts as if it were a complete sentence. For example, because I eat too much chocolate. Correction, remove because so that the meaning of the sentence becomes complete and be better. And the next is difference between sentence and clause. What is difference between sentence and clause? Sentence is not a unit within a clause, but that are made up of clause that can have one clause or more than it. And clause are not made up of sentence, but that is a unit of grammatical organization smaller than a sentence. So it means that sentence is a higher level unit than clause.
Okay, let's move on. Now we talk about finite clause. Okay, let's get started. What do you think, guys, when I say finite clause? What is the definition of finite clause? Finite clause is a main clause or a subordinate clause that must have two verbs to show tense. The verbs can be in the present tense or past tense. The tense can be changed from the present tense to past tense or past tense to present tense because the verb in the present tense or past tense is called a finite verb. The clause that contains finite verb is called a finite clause. The finite clause contains at least a subject plus verb. Okay, let us see that for example. First example is we joined the syntax class by WhatsApp group last week. Second, the fishermen are mending their nets.
Well, because my friend Faisal Arisatiawan has explained about finite clause, so I'm going to talk about infinite clause. Infinite clause is a subordinate clause based on a true infinitive or participle. It contains a verb that does not show tense, which means it does not show the time where something happened. There are three types of infinite clause, and let's see in the next slide. Well, the first is to infinitive clause. In this clause, the verb comes after the word to. For example, my mother taught me to clean our home. And the second type is present participle clause. In this clause, the verb ending in suffix ing is used. For example, seeing no employment prospect, he became self-employed. And the last type is past participle clause. In this clause, the past participle form of the verb is used. For example, a woman recognized as one of the hostages was found unharmed in the building. Well, subordinative conjunction is often used to begin an infinite clause. The subordinate conjunction used here such as if, unless, and thou. For example, the rescuers found the boy, thou injured, fully conscious. So I think that's all for me. I hope this will be useful to all of us. And because I'm the last speaker, so I'm Husnul Bahlimah Haseng, represent my friends to apologize if there are mistakes in our presentation in this time. And thank you very much for watching and pay attention in our presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.